Oh, hello everyone, and welcome to the Bandit's new whip. Today, let's talk about self-acceptance and my views surrounding it. I think it's pretty pertinent to my life at this juncture. As I told you guys a long time ago, I actually got rid of something like 80% of my possessions, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago. I got rid of all my graphic tees, all my sweet jackets, all of my dress clothes. I got rid of stuff that I was keeping around for just in case whatever, conversation pieces, all this crap. And instead of all my flashy clothes, I went out and bought just work pants and plain gray shirts. Because I had had it with the rat race. I had had it with trying to impress other people, trying to become accepted by those in the world around me. I was finished with that bullshit. You know, it's a pertinent topic because I got this new car. I went against some of my advice and I financed this vehicle. But I got it for such a low price, I'll be able to pay it off within this year. And I made sure that it was financed with a credit union so that an early payoff of a large account wouldn't negatively affect my score. That's, I guess, how credit unions work. So I got a loan from a credit union for this. Yeah, I went against some of my advice, but man, I got tired of unreliable vehicles. I was told by my spiritual mother I need to get something that can travel, that I can trust to travel longer than 15 or 20 miles. Because my current vehicles, I don't fucking trust them to go much further than that. They run, they get me to work, but they don't really do anything. She told me that maybe I should get out and see some shit. So I'm gonna take my large dog that I made that music video for. I'm gonna take him with me on adventures in the near future in this car and take Jelly to my brother's house. But this is not a macho vehicle. Women are definitely not impressed by this car. Strangers snicker at me when I'm driving this on the street. Even people that are waiting for the bus sometimes, they think it's funny I'm driving this car. My coworkers have ridiculed me for getting it. And even, I think it was one of the dealers at the dealership that stated that this kind of vehicle will definitely keep gold diggers away, which isn't the original intention of this vehicle, but what they said is true. And so, self-acceptance, man, I don't give a shit what people think about this. I'm gonna go see cooler stuff than they ever do. I'm gonna save a hell of a lot more on gas than any of them do. And I'm gonna sleep better at night by reducing my carbon footprint. Now, I know some of you might not believe that the most invasive and destructive species on the planet could possibly affect the environment, but there have been mass extinction events in the past where one species became too prominent and there was a mass extinction event. I think the first ever mass extinction event was caused by that. Some microorganism that was a decayer became overpopulated, was emitting too much carbon dioxide, and so climate change due to that started causing things to die, which allowed this decayer to reproduce and thrive even more. And so it was a positive backfeed cycle. So, I personally think that the most prominent and invasive and destructive species on the planet is capable of affecting the environment. There's evidence for it. So, it doesn't matter what anybody says about that, you can't convince me that the massive destruction we're causing isn't doing anything. So I can sleep better at night, reducing my carbon footprint. However, I went vegan for the animals. Even animals I don't like, I wouldn't harm unnecessarily, because even though I don't like them, I think they deserve enough respect to be able to live in peace from human-inflicted harm. But a benefit to being vegan is my carbon footprint is reduced by 70%, up to 70%, versus the average American lifestyle. Add another 6% to that for my car now. So I can sleep even better at night knowing that I'm causing even less damage. But of course, yeah, and I'll take all of you on my travels and show you things that I see. But I had to be self-accepting in order to buy this vehicle. Nobody else I work with would ever dream to get this fucking car, but I looked into it and I really fucking wanted it for the utilitarian purposes. The reduced carbon footprint is just a perk on top of being able to travel in a reliable car that can go farther, that I can trust to go farther than 15 or 20 miles, and go see some shit. Now, I see people all around me doing all this stupid shit. One guy I work with just put a down payment for $27,000 on a like $80,000 truck. And I'm concerned for people who do stupid shit that doesn't make any sense to me. Who go and flaunt it to other people. I'm concerned that they haven't done any introspection, like, do I really want this for me? Or am I doing it for others around me so that I can feel accepted and loved without having to, and I can feel good about that without having to do any actual work on accepting and loving myself. Now, life circumstances recently for me put a little dent in my ability to do that. There was all kinds of shit that happened recently that, I don't know, I was in a state of confusion for a while, and then things just fucking fell apart. And I'm still working through some of that. I'm in much better shape now, but yeah, things can put dents in that, and that's when it's time to do some introspection and really fucking think about shit. And be like, hey man, maybe I made some minor mistakes. Maybe I had poor judgment. We're not fucking perfect, man. That's the whole thing. We are fallible and emotional, organic beings. We're not fucking robots. I know a lot of people recently have wanted me to just be a robot, not have feelings, just perform or produce, and otherwise shut the fuck up and stay in my fucking lane. But I can't do that. I've been told by some people I'm a pretty outwardly emotional person. I wear my heart on my sleeve, and people are gonna know what I feel about shit. That's because I'm real. I'm real with people, and that's something that I'll never regret. I'll never regret being real with people about how I feel about things, because that's my own personal truth. If I feel like there's some kind of injustice going on, I'll let people know. I won't just sit down and shut the fuck up. That's one way that I generate this self-respect, self-love, and self-acceptance that I do have. The amount that I do have, I need a lot of work. Like, I mean, this car took me so long to get. It's been 7 or 8 years since I got rid of all of my worldly possessions, other than my car at the time, in order to stop giving a shit about what people around me think. However, I've held on to just buying old beat-up pickup trucks because nobody judges you for that, and keeping my sports car because people always make positive comments about it. I've had it for so long, I'm kind of attached to it. But something like this car, I guess I was afraid of being laughed at, but I don't give a fuck anymore. So I'm not perfect at this whole self-acceptance, self-love, self-respect thing, but yeah, I'm working on it. I think that's one big thing for me, though, is not being afraid to tell people what I think about stuff. If there's something wrong, in my opinion, I'll be the first person to tell people who I think are doing something wrong. I will politely and civilly disagree. And if that doesn't work, if it's something that directly affects me, well, I'll stop being as civil, right? Because it's frustrating when people think they know what's best for me, and I already have a pretty good idea of what I would like my life to look like. No, I'm not going to a fucking company barbecue, and you can't require me to go to it, you know? If that's your stance, then, you know, you can fucking fire me. If you're gonna push me, I'll tell you, oh, then fucking fire me then. I don't give a shit. I'm not going to fucking barbecue, dude. I've told employers that. Like, oh, yeah? You have a problem with me not doing something I don't want to do that's not in my job description? Well, then fire me. They always look at me like I'm fucking crazy, and they leave the issue alone. Because they push the issue, I stop being as civil. And I definitely respect myself for being able to do that. I don't take shit off of anybody. I also don't stand for things I disagree with, or things that make me feel uncomfortable, unreasonably uncomfortable. It's good to get out of your comfort zone, but you know, nobody can make you do anything unless you don't have any self-respect, in which case, well, people can make you do things because you're a fucking pushover. So anyway, self-acceptance is something I'm still working on, and I think it's something that everybody should work on. Thinking about, why am I doing this? Why am I making this purchase? Why am I talking to these people? Why am I making these lifestyle choices? Why? Is it to feel comfortable in my own skin by being more accepted by those around me, but going against my values possibly, or maybe biting me in the ass because I'm spending too much money on this or that? Or am I really doing it for myself? Does it really make me happy? These are some questions that I ask myself about a lot of things. Nowadays, I'm going to have more time to think too, and hopefully day by day I can get better at being good for myself. So anyway, it's getting dark out. I'll probably go drive back home now, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. As always, peace for real. Later.
sit still. Now let your mind do the walking, and let my body do the talking. Let me show you the world with my eyes. I'll take you to the highest mountain, to the depths of the deepest sea. And we won't need a map, believe me. Now let my body do the moving, and let my hands do the soothing. Let me show you the world in my eyes.